Can I just say, before you watch this particular video, Mark has some words for you.
We do a weekly podcast, Kermode and Mayo's Take, and these videos are just morsels taken from that podcast.
And basically, him in the glasses and the hair, he reviews the films.
Him in the smaller glasses and the smaller hair, he does all the big interviews.
Plus a load more. So wherever you get your podcast, make sure you subscribe and make sure you download on a regular basis. It's very healthy.
There's a link below.
Below, don't forget that bit. Box office top 10. Number 10, at last, I hear you say, 28 years later.
Well,
that's done well.
Yes, it's done really well, and I'm very, very excited for the next instalment now, because I've thought about the end of 28 years later so much. I now just want to go, okay, fine, give me the next movie.
Yes, I'm kind of dreading it as well.
Yeah,
so
I know, but in a good way, right?
Number 9, number 7 in America is How to Train Your Dragon.
Bearing in mind last week's email, I will try and say that it's a jolly story, well told, although it has been told better.
6 in Canada, number 8 in the UK. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Although it has been told better elsewhere. I mean, this is the thing with I Know What You Did Last Summer. You go, yeah, I know what you did. It's so, it's not bad. It's not good. It's just redoing that.
Smurfs at 7.
I thought that was bad. I thought it was, yes, I thought it was quite annoyingly bad. And interestingly enough, it doesn't seem to be doing brilliantly well if it's number 7 in week 2.
Sayara is at 6.
So this wasn't press screened. This is an Indian Hindi language musical romantic drama. If anyone has seen it, please send us a review. And thanks so much to the person who did exactly that last week.
Correspondence at covenantmail.com. F1 is at 5.
F1! Brad Pitt, he's cool. And there are cars.
Jurassic World Rebirth is at number 3 in America, number 4 here.
Well, I mean, Gareth Edwards directs it well.
The Bad Guys 2 is at number 3.
Look, it's more of the same. I mean, it frequently threatens to fall apart under the weight of too many characters, too many plot strands, and, everything going on at the same time. However, it zips and zooms around the place like a pinball banging around in the machine. There are nods to the Oceans movies. It's big and colourful and noisy, and I think younger audiences will enjoy it enough. PG for mild violence, threat, and rude humour. I mean, I didn't feel that we needed a Bad Guys 2, but I didn't feel at the end of it. I'm pretty certain we're going to get a Bad Guys 3 because it's the way of these things. It's now a known IP, but not much to say other than if you see it and enjoy it, be interesting to see whether in a week later, if somebody said to you, tell me the plot, whether you can remember any of it.
Okay, and speaking of brands, Superman is at number 2 here in America.
So I enjoyed Superman much more than I thought I was going to. I do think it is all over the place, but we were saying before that thing about, a film when its heart is in the right place. Its heart is in the right place.
Number 1 here in America is the new Fantastic Four. So let me just do some emails, and then you. Steve Noble in Bristol. Dear Sizzling Stan and Jumpin' Jack, I was delighted to hear Mark call out the astonishing retro science fiction production design for, he says SF production design for Fantastic Four. The movie is a love letter to original artist Jack Kirby, a true pioneer of comics whose interstellar imagination brought the Shakespearean dialogue of Stan Lee to life. Kirby designed the vast majority of Marvel characters, including Spider-Man, the Hulk, most of the Avengers, and the Fantastic Four. The new movie pays homage to the inspiration that Kirby brought to the whole comics and now movie industry. Kirby was comics Van Gogh, and while he and Stan parted on very bad terms, as a team they were unique and pivotal, changing comics from a throwaway art form to the driving media of the 21st century. The utterly charming new FF movie is really the first time that the MCU has literally gone back to the drawing board,
very good,
utilising Kirby's unique design genius for elements such as the FF's apartment and the character design of Galactus. The end credit tribute to Jack Kirby is the icing on the cake for this exceptional film, a very welcome return to form for the MCU, and an overdue thank you to a comics artist who had a Hulk-sized influence on the modern world. It brought this old comics fan to the point of tears.
Oh.
Yours and Excelsior, shameful Steve Noble is how he signs himself.
Oh, how moving. That's lovely.
Rob says, Dear Hoopy Froods, surely I can't have been the only listener who, as the Fantastic Four
Here we
clip
go.
involving a herald appearing in the sky and announcing the scheduled destruction of Earth by an interstellar power played out, immediately responded with, there's no point acting surprised about it, as the plot appears to be lifted from the Vogons arriving in the first chapter of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Perhaps they knew what they were doing, but I was surprised that this wasn't the direction Mark's review took. And finally, that was from Rob. Nick says, Dear Mr. Fantastic and Mr. Grimm, I recently walked out of the new Superman after the first hour feeling depressed. That it was tedious, weightless, and I thought it was tedious, weightless, and vapid. FFFF was Marvel reminding James Gunn how he used to do it with Guardians. A real return to form. The first hour was wonderful, as great as anything Marvel have done. I especially loved the Incredibles energy, which amounts to a fun and cheeky feedback loop with that other superpowered family. Though it doesn't quite sustain that level once the more generic city stomping starts, it is still marvellous. A perfect cast and score by Michael Giacchino, sumptuous visual design that is worthy of the IMAX ticket price I paid, and the whole endeavour beautifully crafted. It is true that it suffers a little from the lack of genuine peril, but then this applies to most filmmaking of this scale in the age of multiverses and pre-sequels. Long live Marvel's first family, creepy CGI child and all. Up with the goodies, down with the baddies. Love the show. Nick, LTL and Vanguard Easter. So there we go. A lot of love for the Fantastic Four.
Brilliant. And 3 fabulous emails. I love the Hoopy Fruit. There's a Hoopy Fruit who certainly knows where his towel is at. Yes, I do think the design is just brilliant. I love the email about Jack Kirby. That's fantastic. One thing I should say is there was a number of comments on the YouTube review saying, pointing out that when I said, owes a debt to the Incredibles, they said, well, obviously the Incredibles is inspired by Fantastic Four. Yes, what I was specifically talking about was the design of the Incredibles, to which I think it does owe a debt. And obviously, I think that what did he described it in that last email as a feedback loop of Fantastic Four, Incredibles, Fantastic Four. Anyway, but yes, the design is eye-watering, and even by the time you get to the smashy crashy knocking down building stuff, which is inevitably less interesting, you have had enough feast for the eyes stuff to more than satisfy. And lovely to hear people enjoying it so much. Lovely to hear people enjoying it so much, particularly at a time when we were talking earlier on about Bring Her Back. This is cinema can do all these things.